I have the distinct honor and pleasure to say a few words at the statue unveiling of Dr. James H. Sills Jr. on April 30th, 2022. I spoke about his impact on Delaware through one nonprofit he founded 35 years ago, the Delaware Community Reinvestment Action Council. DCRAC was founded in 1987. I came to America in 1988. And in 1989, I was ready to drop out of the illustrious Biden Institute for lack of funding when I learned that Dr. Sills was looking for an intern. The only thing I remember of my first meeting with him was his empathy. He made me feel like I belonged. Belonging is our core organizational value. Our clients, volunteers, funders, and even some banks can attest to that. As mayor, he spoke at a few bank mergers. Someone said that the merger should be approved because Jim Sills, the founder of DCRAC, was not opposing. To which Mayor Sills said, "If our roles were reversed, I would oppose this merger." What a confidence boost he gave to a novice advocate. I credit his teachings to what DCRAC is today. Lesson number 1. Communities are hit hardest when institutions don't exist, especially those institutions that the affluent take for granted. This is why DCRAC banks the disinvested, saving an average member $3,000 a year. This is one of the largest anti-poverty programs in the country, second only to the Earned Income Tax Credit, which, by the way, makes the low-income community 5 times more likely to be audited by the IRS. When this happens, DCRAC offers the only free tax attorney in the state. We are building a law firm for those who do not qualify for free legal services and can't afford the market rates. We teach consumer finance through the Money School. And yes, we continue to comment on bank mergers. Lesson number 2. Inaction is oppression. When there is a need and no one is willing or able to meet that need, we all suffer. This is why DCRAC law works to stem wealth erosion for the 2 certainties of life, death and taxes. The impact of these certainties on low-income communities, especially communities of color, is the difference between poverty and wealth. We also chartered a federally insured financial institution in 2011, the only charter issued nationwide that year. We now have an infrastructure to address racial wealth divide. Lesson number 3. When you find that secret sauce, be sure it survives you. DCRAC has just launched a $5 million equity capital campaign to advance economic liberty and financial independence. Our goal is to ensure that our Stepping Stones Community Federal Credit Union will celebrate its 200th birthday and beyond. This is the legacy Jim Sills helped build, and one that I am deeply fortunate to continue. When Dr. Sills gave me the opportunity to intern with him, neither of us knew the impact of his influence. We are who we are because of the harsh lessons I, a newcomer to systemic racism, learned from someone who saw it every day and made it his calling to do something about it. In 1981, Delaware passed into law the Financial Center Development Act. It changed our growth trajectory, ours as in Delawareans. We hung our coat on that peg that's called banking. Nationwide, folk were mailing their credit card payments to Little Wilmington, Delaware. On May 14, 1987, Delaware legislature approved interstate banking. July 14, 1987, Jim Sills single-handedly by hand wrote out invitations to every faith, community, legislative leader he had an address for. 40 of them came together. DCRAC was founded, and Jim Sills began this volunteer founding chairmanship of this great organization with which I was affiliated first as an intern. So, 1987 we are founded. 1988 we comment on Bank of Delaware's acquisition merger with PNC Financial Corporation. It became PNC. And Wilmington Savings Fund Society Star States Corporation merger. We also commented on Delaware Trust Meridian, which actually resulted in a CRA agreement. In 1989, we signed CRA agreements with PNC Bank and WSFS. All these three CRA agreements were signed by banks kicking and screaming. 2.5 years later, though, they publicly said everything we were supposed to do in 5 years, we did in 2.5 years. Thank you for opening beautiful, brand new opportunities for us. In 1990, Delaware leaders partnered with then the People's Settlement Association Federal Credit Union. DCRAC helps found the National Community Reinvestment Coalition. We protest Central Pennsylvania Financial Corporation of Shamokin with White Eagle Federal Savings Bank. All of this was during my term as the intern. In 1991, we protest People's Bank of Harrington and Wilmington Trust Company merger. Wilmington Trust makes a public pledge to meet the Community Reinvestment Act needs of our community. 1992, Jim Sills is elected the first Black mayor of the city of Wilmington, and leadership at DCRAC is taken over by Keith.